Hello guys, welcome to video. This is a rehashing of my model. This is a rehashing of my model. This is a rehashing of my model because the video I made before didn't have a proper mic. So yeah, you guys probably didn't hear me properly, and this is for some people that I'm trying to help as well. So I want to delve into some shit. Sure. So the way how I trade is normally high RR, high win rate with a low drawdown, and being able to place large ordering volume. What I mean by large ordering volume is that I trade a lot. Okay, I trade a lot. I trade almost every session. And the reason why I win most sessions is because I understand proper risk management and proper position management as well. So I'm not looking to take 100 and something points in Asia, and I'm not looking to take these 200-point moves in London. So that's the premise of my strategy. Okay, it's meant for a peace of mind. Okay, a peace of mind. You make a high amount, you get very low drawdown, and even if it's in drawdown for a long period of time, you're definitely gonna get stopped out. So you're especially not waiting for a long period of time in drawdown. So I'm doing this like a sales pitch. Damn. Okay. So I want to go over some shit. Okay. The first of which is shit. That's too small. That's what she said. Anyways, the first thing I want to go over is the step by step of how you do this, right? So the very first thing you want to do is have a daily bias in mind, however way you want to do that, okay? So first have a daily bias in mind, okay? Damn, I typed that shit wrong. In mind, okay? First have a daily bias in mind, okay? I'm not going to tell you how to deal with that. You should know or have some technique on how to properly have a daily bias in mind, okay? Secondly, when it approaches 10 a.m. New York, when it approaches 10 a.m. in whatever time zone you're in New York session, you want to, whether it's like 9:40 or 9:50, you want to look for the nearest high time frame, ideally the 1 minute. You want to look for the nearest high time frame PD array. You want to look for the nearest high time frame PD array. Ideally, 15 minutes. So that's 15 MIN. Okay. So you want to look for 15-minute PD arrays, whether it be that it's with, as long as it's not invalidated. Aside from FVGs that can be invalidated and turned into IVGs, as long as it's not invalidated, it can work. And even if the PD array has already been mitigated, that means price already reacted off of it, you can still use it as well. Okay, so you're gonna have a daily bias in mind. Approaching 10 a.m., you're going to look for high time frame PD arrays on 15-minute. A high time frame PD array, one thing about a high time frame PD array is that the closer it is to where price currently is, the better. Okay, I'm gonna show you when I delve into the charts. Okay, you can screenshot this while I type it or write it down. Okay, and then the next thing that you want to do is go down to the 1 minute. 1 minute, and then you're gonna mark out the OTE. You're gonna mark out the OTE of that leg that formed the 15-minute PD array. So mark out OTE, and you're also going to mark out fixed range volume profile. I'm also going to show you guys how to deal with that as well. Okay, so you're gonna mark out FRVP as well. So you're gonna go down to the 1 minute. You're gonna mark out you're gonna go down to the 1 minute, and you're gonna mark out the range or the move that caused that 15-minute PD array. So let me type that in as well. 1 minute, mark out 15-minute move that made PD array. Okay, forgive me if I type slow, I have very small fingers. Okay, so that's it. You want to have a daily bias in mind. You want to look for high time frame PD arrays. High time frame PD arrays, ideally to 15 minutes, since we're taking our trades off 1 minute. And then after you mark out your PD array, you're going to hop down to the 1 minute, mark out the 15-minute move that may mark out the fudge. Type that shit wrong. You're going to mark out the 1 minute move that made the PD array. Okay? So you're going to mark out the 1 minute move that made that 15-minute PD array. The 15-minute PD array. Okay? So daily bias in mind, high time frame PD array, 1 minute mark out, blah blah blah. Yeah. So that's it. After that, what you're gonna do, so you mark out the OTE and FRVP, you're going to analyze the FVRP to know what levels you're gonna take a trade off of. Okay, you shit gonna take a trade off of. Fuck, what's wrong with me today, dog? Okay, so after you mark out your 1 minute move that made a 15-minute PD array with the OTE or FRVP, you're going to analyze the FVRP. Fuck. Okay, if you're gonna mark out a fixed volume range profile to know what levels you're gonna take a trade off of. Okay, that's it. Let me fix this. As I said, this text is for you to write down, because I explain my strategy. Some people use it, some people don't understand it, some people struggle. This is basically a checklist. Okay, so do whatever you want with this. Let me see if everything's typed properly. You can skip ahead when I actually go to explain shit in the chart. One move that made the, you're gonna mark out the shit. I knew this gotta be deleted. Move with the fib tool and FRVP. Okay, that's it. So that's it. By OTE, I mean the fib tool. I'll get into why. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is wait for market open. So this is on Euro USD. I'm planning to move from indexes to Forex, because Forex is just cleaner. So we have our 10 a.m. candle here. Okay, that's our 10 a.m. candle. Wow, I'm gonna mark that out so it doesn't slip my mind. 10 a.m. open is there, and this is not key opens, guys. You can apply find a way to incorporate key opens in this, but this is not key opens. I just take trades off the 10 a.m. candle, off the 6 p.m. candle, the 8 p.m. candle, and the 2 a.m. candle, because I can get the most out of these sessions. Okay, now after your 10 a.m. candle opens, before your 10 a.m. candle opens, I should say, you want to hop down to the 15-minute and look for PD arrays that align with the bias that you're taking. Okay, so I'm looking for 15-minute bearish PD arrays because of bearish movement that happened on Euro USD. Okay, so this could have been, we inverse this fair value gap, but we're looking at ahead of time. When 10 a.m. open, we didn't. So remember, we're looking for 15-minute before. We're looking for 15-minute PD arrays before 10 a.m. Okay, we've got we got a breaker block right here. Okay, we got a breaker block right here, and as you can see, price came into it, tested it, so that shows me that, yeah, breaker block, very much breaker block. We have bearish fair value gaps over here as well, but as you can see, this was way above 10 a.m. open. You want it to be, you want your 15-minute PD array to be the closest to where price is at that moment in time. Okay, you have this inversion right here, this inverse fair value gap, but 10 a.m. is all the way down there. Okay, and that's it. The reason why I say that's way down there, so the reason why you say you want the PD array to be the closest to where price is, or the closest to where the 10 a.m. is going to open, is because the 10 a.m. will not manipulate 100, 200, 300 points just to get, it will not manipulate that far. Normally, it will not manipulate that far. I'm still using points. It will not manipulate very far to continue a trend. It will manipulate to the closest PD rate it can go into, as long as it's valid, and then continue the trend. Okay, so saying that to say this, we found our 15-minute PD rate. What do we do next? We drop down to the 1 minute and mark out the 1 minute move with the fib tool and FRVP that made that 15-minute PD rate. So we're going to drop down to the 1 minute. After we drop down to the 1 minute, we want to look for the 1 minute move that caused that PD rate. So we can go all the way over here, right? We can go all the way over here, and we can go all the way over back to that breaker block and mark it out. We can do that, but I don't do that. Okay, when price inverses a PD array and creates a new PD array, I tend to mark out the 1 minute move that caused it, or is the closest 1 minute move to where price is. Okay, saying that, okay, the best way I can explain it is this: breaker blocks are when order blocks fail. Inverse fair value gaps is when a fair value gap fails. So whenever I mark out high time frame breaker blocks or high time frame inverse fair value gaps, I will not mark out this move that caused it, because this is the order block. Okay, this is the move that caused the order block. This, I want to look for the move that caused the breaker block. Okay, I want to see the move that invalidated that. Okay, this move is what invalidated that order block and turned this range into a breaker block. Okay, but we're looking to short, so we can't draw our fib tool from here to here, because that would mean we want price to come down here and then go up. That's longing. We're looking to short. Okay, so you should know the difference. You're intelligent. So saying that to say this, we can't draw our tools right here, so we're drawing our tools over here. Okay, the closest range, when you marking out the 1 minute move that causes a PD array, a 15-minute PD array, you want to mark out the closest leg or the closest range to said PD array. Saying that to say this, you don't want to be drawing out your OTE from all the way up here. We're trying to capitalize on this 15-minute move, and then this 15-minute PD array, I should say, and this range and this move is not inside said 15-minute PD array. So the 10 a.m. candle has no reason to go all the way up here. You're waiting on an entry that will never come. Same with up here, same with here. Ideally, you want to drop from swing high to swing low. And the closest swing high, since we're bearish, the closest swing high for us is right here. Okay? And we go down and we bring it down to the nearest swing low. That's it. That's it. This fib tool is tuned to be an OTE. I won't delve into OTE. Okay? All you just need to know is how to use it. If you want to know why or how this works, you can go into a YouTube video. You can go and watch another YouTube video if you're interested. I would recommend TT Trades, but I'm not going to teach how to use the OTE. I'm just going to show you how you can use it in the strategy that I'm using. Okay, and that's it. So these are the settings. Okay, 0, blah 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 blah. Okay, that's it. OTE levels. So after you mark out your range and your legs, you want to, okay, the 10 a.m. opened and caused this move, so you had to move a little bit fast. I wouldn't recommend taking a trade like this though, but he had to move speedy. Brody had to move speedy when he was there. Okay, so bam, this tool right here is a fixed range volume profile. Okay, I won't delve into how that works as well. I'm going to show you how I use it when I'm taking my trades. Okay, next, these are the settings. Okay, I use numbers of rows. I normally use ticks per row for indexes, but for forex I'm using numbers or number of rows. Don't change this. This is default 70. Don't change this as well. You don't really want to change this. They already come at a good size. Okay. Style, my values are black. Turn on values. Values will be off for you, but the way how I trade, you need values on. It's black. Won't delve into colors. That's not important. Width is 50. I like to have the volume large. I have VAH on, VAL, and the POC because these are good DOLs, good draws and liquidity, so I keep them on. My Instagram box is off. I don't like that thing in the background. I like my charts clean and transparent. So, all the cosmetic shit and deep thinking settings aside, how do we use these two tools, right? We use the 15-minute PD array so that we're not drawing out these things at random. Okay, that's the purpose of the 15-minute PD array. The 15-minute PD array has two purposes. The first purpose is so that we can catch the 10 a.m. candle from the top or the bottom of its manipulation. Basically, top ticking and bottom ticking the 10 a.m. candle. The second is so that we have a good idea of where we want to be drawing this out, because we could have easily drew it from up here. We could have easily drew it from up here. Okay, but this gives us an ideal area or an ideal location on where we should be looking to draw this out, or where we should be looking to get an entry. Okay, so how do we use the tools? OTE is normally used to validate price structure in a range. Okay, we have a 1 minute bearish FEG right here. The average OTE user will be like, okay, then it's in a very premium range, and the CE of it, or the consequent encroachment of the bearish fair value gap, lines up with the 6.2 level. So at the 705 level, so I'll just put my limit at the 705 level and then take a short of that. Okay, I don't want you to look at it like that. I want you to look at the OTE levels like standard deviation. Those standard deviation guys be taking trades purely off the levels with PD arrays to back them up, and that's how you use the OTE. That's how you use the OTE with a strategy. The OTE levels are where you're going to put your limits and where you're going to buy. It's not used to validate anything. The volume profile and price structure is going to validate OTE, not the other way around. Okay, so we're looking to sell. Okay, and the good thing about the fixed range volume profile is that it doesn't lie. Okay, it's going to tell us where we should be looking to sell. Okay, so I'm gonna go into detail on that. So these values are where you want to go take your entry. Okay, the numbers on the left is buying volume, and the numbers on the right is selling volume. Okay, common sense, you want higher selling volume if you're looking to sell, and higher buying volume if you're looking to buy. Okay, and we're looking for whichever level has the highest volume that we can take an entry off of. Okay, so the highest level, the level that has the highest area of volume to sell, ideally, was the point of control and the 0.05. The 0.5 right here, we do we would catch a fair bit of drawdown. Okay, we would catch a fair bit of drawdown, but it's not a lot. I think this is drawn out wrong, to be honest. Hold on, let me see some shit. Because when I was taking this trade before, the levels were a bit different. So I'm gonna see what's going on. I think I drew it out wrong. Give me a second. Whoa, that's an anchored. Technical difficulties. Oh my god. Technical difficulties. What? Who could have foreseen this? So, yeah, those levels were right. Oh, there it is. There it is. Because I knew some shit was bugging. Right? Ignore the technical difficulties. I drew it out wrong. So that's the thing too. Because you gotta draw it, out exactly how you drew the OTE, and you gotta draw out both of these on the right leg, or else you're either going to be stopped out, get way more drawdown than you need, or you just completely don't get an entry because price wasn't interested in that level. Okay, I think it because of the magnet tool, it probably anchored up here, or it anchored at this low right here, so it didn't get the entire volume. Okay, so 7.9, 7.05, and 6.2 is ideally where most people that trade OTE want to take entries off of, but I take it off the 0.5 as well if volume is correct. Okay, I didn't take it off the 0.5 level despite there being so much volume. Why? Because of this 1 minute bearish FVG as well. So we're looking for the most probable area of entry. That's what we're looking for. Okay, don't be like, okay, so this has the most amount of volume, so I put my limit here. Look what happens. High amounts of drawdown, and if you had a very small stop, you would have gotten stopped out. So it doesn't really make sense like that. If you don't just watch the volume, watch price structure as well. That's why I used the term analyze. Okay, you're going to be analyzing. You're not just a trader that's just pressing buy and sell. You're going to be doing an analysis. Okay, what do we got? We got this bearish FVG that is in line with the most discount levels on the OTE, that is in line with the VAH, this breakup line that's on the fucking volume profile, that has very low selling volume, to be honest. Okay, so we're not looking at these numbers right here. We got this, and a bearish FVG, but the selling volume wasn't really in the favor. Okay, the selling volume wasn't really in favor. 20 buyers to 14 sellers. The volume isn't really in my favor. What we got though is a 6.2 level. The 6.2 level is barely in the FVG, barely in the bearish FVG. It has 14 to 0. So 0 buyers to 14 sellers, and 0 buyers to 49 sellers just below it. Okay, so you would put your limit ideally right here at the 6.2 level. If you want to get, you could take a chance up here, but if you want your entry to get filled, ideally, this is where position management comes in. Okay, you want to put your stop somewhere where you don't want, where if it gets hit, you're not losing a lot of money, and you don't, where you want to put it somewhere where price doesn't just use it as liquidity. The best thing to do is put it above this bearish FVG, above this 1 minute bearish FVG, and above the 15-minute breaker block. Okay, next thing in position management is targets. Okay, you want to look for the nearest DOL. Okay, the nearest draw on liquidity. You don't want nothing more. Okay, this swing low is the most best, the absolute lowest hanging fruit draw on liquidity I ever seen, bro. This thing, that area is the best place to target. Okay, so we set our target down there, a little lower, just a little lower. Okay, And then after that, we just, that's it. Okay, that's it. As you can see, we only went a wick in drawdown, and that's probably just to seek some liquidity. Okay, and that's it. That's how I trade. That's the model. That's how you get clean trades. That's how you trade with precision. Okay, precision. That's the word. Okay, that's how you trade. That's how you trade. The way how I trade. Okay, I don't know if you guys understand everything that I said. If you do, good for you. Now you can trade the same way too if you practice. If you don't, well, damn, I can't teach it any better than this. Okay, honestly, I can't teach it any better than this. I was planning on deleting my strategy videos, but I'm gonna keep them up. I'm gonna keep them up for any new trader, any trader struggling to be profitable, or their strategy is just simply working for them. So yeah, that's it. Peace, I guess.